Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Now, what shall we talk about?
Hello, my friends, and welcome to this kind of impromptu live stream. I hope you can hear me okay. I don't know, for those of you who regularly watch me, I have completely rearranged my office and stuff so that when I'm doing a live stream, it's actually more interesting to watch. And now that I'm looking at it, I can see that there's a bunch of reflections behind me on this poster. I actually had to take the reflective substance out of there the other day, but yeah, anyway. So this is just a pop-up live stream. This is a free-for-all. We're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about some subjects that I'm interested in. If there are subjects that you guys are interested in, you'd like to talk and just kind of get a conversation going, then feel free to put that in the chat, and I will be watching and reading the comments as they come in. Welcome. Looks like we've got Freighter CR in here. Looks like there's about 3 people watching right now. Not very many, but thank you for coming if you did show up here on time. Anyway, so today, and I don't know how many of you guys watched the intro today. It's basically a bunch of clips of different movies, anime, cartoons, different things coming in. And as every time I watch that, I just think the same thing. What happened? Like all of those movies, some are Raiders of the Lost Ark, some of them are from My Hero Academia, some of them are from V for Vendetta. I mean, do you remember when Hollywood used to actually make good films? Hey, Adega, thanks for jumping in here. And I just, every time I look at that, and I'm just like, and it wasn't that long ago, 10 years ago, they were still making good movies. They were making stuff that you could actually watch and not want to shoot yourself, which really doesn't happen anymore. Most of the time, I mean, really honestly, in a lot of ways, I'm kind of grateful because it saved me a lot of money. I don't have to go to the theater anymore because there's nothing there that I actually want to watch. I mean, my kids will be like, "Hey, Dad, you want to go to the?" And I'm like, "What are you going to see?" And they'll tell me, and I'm just like, "No, I don't want to see that." So I mean, it's one of those things where I just feel bad. And like I said, we're going to talk about some entertainment news, different things going on. We're also going to talk about just general stuff. We're going to do a little bit of political stuff, but not really political, if you know what I mean. Just stuff that's happening in the news. We're just going to do some commentary on a bit of everything, like I said. And if there's something you want to talk about in particular, feel free to throw it in the chat, and I will, if I know anything about it, we'll get a conversation going. So I wanted to start today with something I swore I was not going to make videos on anymore, and I'm not really making a video about this. That's why I'm doing a live stream. I want to talk about Snow White. Oh, it just makes me kind of throw up my mouth just a little bit. I'm even talking about it because people are talking about it so much that to me, it's gotten obnoxious. And I don't really want to talk about it for the sake of anything that like most people are talking about. Yes, it's another representation of what's gone wrong. But I wanted to show a clip from a Macy Talks channel where she's made a video about this, and there's a couple comments that they make in this, and then I wanted to talk to you guys about. I also wanted to watch. In fact, let's just do that now. I'm going to bring up the Disney Snow White official trailer here, and trust me, let's not. I would like to apologize in advance for the Ipecac type reflex that this is going to cause in most people. So here's that trailer, and I'm going to stop this off and on periodically because I'm sure I'll be copyrighted if I don't. Okay, well, that's enough of that. Seriously, that's about as much as I can even tolerate. I mean, all I have to do is see Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler and go, which one's supposed to be the ugly one? Which one's supposed to be? I don't. Anyway, and that's been a comment. A lot of people like they mess this up from the beginning. So I wanted to bring up this other video about this. Like I said, we're not going to talk about Snow White very long because I can only tolerate so much Snow White talk. But I wanted to talk about this in a general sense. So let me pull up this other clip here, and we'll listen to it for a second. Like say, I may have to stop it and start it as we go. Oh no, it's Mike Zero. I'm sorry. I would like to apologize to everybody in advance. I didn't realize it. Actually, I did. I remember when I first started watching him, I watched like one video, and that was enough. And I was like, no, because I realized he knows nothing. And he was presenting himself as this insider who had all this information. Now I think he's a little bit more honest about the fact that he's just like me and knows as little about what's going on as I do, because I don't profess to be a Hollywood insider who has all of this information at his fingertips and it can just, I've got my pulse on the thing to Hollywood. It's like, no, I don't. Dega says, if I knew you were going to torture us, I would have thought twice. Yeah, sorry. I should have put a disclaimer. This may cause seizures and induce, explosive diarrhea and vomiting. I'm sorry. I should have done that at the very beginning. From now on, I will put a disclaimer in there. Sorry, Adega. So this let's listen to a little bit more because it's actually I don't really care about what Mike Zero is saying, which most people don't. Probably more than care about what I'm saying though. Okay, that was the comment that got me, and it was only a few seconds into this video. So, one, they're saying Bob Iger is freaking out, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so because like nothing that has happened, nothing that Disney destroyed and blew up a $4 billion IP, Star Wars. Wasted it, absolutely trashed it. It's probably worth hell. I could probably afford to buy Star Wars right now. Let me drop this back out of here. Sorry, but no, I just the thought that they are going to reboot Snow White again, like immediately, and I'm like, and why? So you couldn't hear that a day? Can you not hear me or not hear the video? Because that will make me mad. Anyway, so let me just tell you what she said, because apparently the audio didn't come through. So basically, they're saying that Bob Iger's in panic mode, which makes okay. So there's something wrong with my. I apologize for that. So apparently, there's something wrong with. Bob Iger saying that, oh, but we're in panic mode and blah, blah, blah. And I don't believe that for a second. I don't think they're in panic mode because it makes no sense. for them to be in panic mode now. Now you get panicked, like, but they've said this every time there's a thing that happens in Disney, and I don't believe that. I don't think these people even understand what's happening. They understand they're losing money, but they don't seem to care about that either. Like I said, they just fobbed off a $4 billion IP. Look at what they've done to everything that they've gotten there. All of their remakes, every single Disney remake has been garbage, at least the ones I've seen. And I stopped really paying attention after Maleficent because, as I've said before in my videos, Snow White is one of my, not Snow White, it's in my brain. Sleeping Beauty is one of my all-time favorites. It is one of the most amazing animated films I think was ever made. So stylized. The music was beautiful. The singing, everything was so fantastic. So I just, when they did Maleficent and they just bastardized that film, it being my favorite, I was done. I was so done, and it's only gotten worse. Like since that has happened, it has just been like this downward spiral into the toilet. With every one of them being slightly variations of awful. I went and tried to watch the Beauty and the Beast remake, and couldn't do it. I couldn't get through it. It was just like I think I made it 20 minutes into that movie, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm out, because I could tell that none of the magic, it was just going to be a garbage interpretation. They changed stuff right off the bat with the dad, and anyway, I was like, oh, okay. But they've just been getting progressively worse. So now in this video, they're saying they're going to remake Snow White again. Like immediately, they're going to start and redo another Snow White. And I'm like, what? Like, you've already ruined it. Nobody trusts you. Nobody wants you to do this stuff because, good Lord. I mean, CR says, I think this old 101 Dalmatians remake was okay. It was Hugh Laurie as Jasper and pretty fake. You know what? That's true. I think, and I can't remember who played Cruella de Vil is not Meryl Streep. There's another famous actress, but I think you're right. I think that one was tolerable, but that was never one of my favorite Disney animated films. There was a series of films during that era, like the Aristocats and some others that were like, they were okay. I mean, I liked them as a kid, but like as I got older, I was like, but that's true. That one actually was fairly faithful, and but I think that kind of predates the Maleficent. I'd have to actually go back and see when those were released, but I think that's before they went full stupid. As they say in Tropic Thunder, never go full retard. Never go full retard. And they have gone, wow, 110% retard. Disney has just shot right past that, and it's sad to me to see, because I mean, I grew up. Disney was a massive part of my growing up. A massive part of my childhood. They built most of my childhood as far as like films and stuff. I mean, there was a lot of things that did, the Muppets and Jim Henson and all that kind of stuff. But Disney was right in there. I mean, they were a cornerstone of me growing up. I mean, the old Disney TV shows, the Zorro, and I mean the old Zorro, and I mean just some of that stuff was. I mean, because Disney built its name on being a family company and helping moms and dads raise their kids with good value. I mean, I remember The Cat from Outer Space. I remember going to see The Cat from Outer Space in the drive-in. And I love, because those, or Gus. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Gus, which was about a donkey that kicks footballs and stuff like that. I mean, Disney had fun, magical, simple, straightforward, honest films when I was a kid. I mean, whether it was animated, whether it was live action, it didn't matter what they made. Blackbeard's Ghost, one of my favorites growing up. I loved that movie. Just if you start thinking about that era of the kind of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, early 90s and stuff, well, even in the later 90s. I mean, even up until like films like Meet the Robinsons, which was another really good Disney film. I mean, and they've had outliers and stuff, but it's just to actually think about putting another 500 million into another Snow White remake. I mean, they're just going to try and do this another way. They haven't learned anything. They're just going, and I seriously doubt they're going to do this. That's just something I heard on this Macy Talks video. But seriously, why? Why? The damage is done. If you want to remake that, you got to give it 10 years because you have pissed off everybody. Every single person who might have been interested in Snow White, yeah, they're gone. They're gone. I mean, everybody who went and spent money on this and came out of the theater going, what the hell did I just watch? I mean, that you're not getting those people again. Not even if, I mean, because that because they haven't gone into Disney, they haven't cleaned house, they haven't cleaned out all the DEI crap, they haven't got rid of that lady who came on and did that video where it's like, I try and push gay stuff into everything I do. I mean, and like, all of those people that caused so many problems for Bob Chapek, that were put in there by Bob Iger. Bob Iger created that mess, handed it off to Chapek. Chapek goes, what the hell am I supposed to do with it? And everybody's like, oh, you suck, Bob Chapek, which he wasn't great at handling what happened. But I mean, he was set up to fail. It's not even a question. Chapek never had a chance. He was DOA the moment he stepped into that role. And then Iger comes back like he's going to save the company and has done nothing to save the company. He has just flushed more of the company down the toilet. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy's still over at Lucasfilm. You've got Dum Dum over at Marvel, Bill, look at all these. So like I've got posters all over. Half of these posters are Marvel posters from the first and second phase of the MCU, which was fantastic. I mean, that was just a machine for printing money. I mean, Marvel, from Iron Man on, they just printed money. I mean, that's all they were doing. Billion here, billion. And it's amazing. In the last 10 years, I'll bet you they've flushed every single dollar that Marvel made in the previous 15 right down the toilet. So, I mean, it's basically a zero-sum game at this point. Is like, so, I mean, with all the TV shows, they bastardized Loki, which is one of my favorite characters. And a guy who, I don't know how many of you guys watch Loki's Mornings of Mischief every morning, but if you don't, go watch Loki's Mornings of Mischief every morning. He broadcasts 7 a.m. my time, which I'm in the Mountain Time Zone. So depending on where you are in the country, figure that out and go watch him every morning because he is fantastic. That's kind of but that's who he based his YouTube channel off of. And he's fantastic. I watched him and kept up with him whenever I possibly could through all these years. And I donate money to his channel whenever I get a chance, just because what he does is important and he's a good friend and I love what he does. But I mean, it brings home to me how much damage has been done. I mean, look. Oh, no. Oh, it shows how much I've been paying attention in the last few weeks. So Loki's only on Fridays now. Okay. So I guess there's a change in that. I know that he's been struggling with some health problems. I've been out of the loop because I've been having struggles with my business, which is telling you why I am sitting here at 3:00 in the afternoon on a weekday. But things may look up. It's been a hard couple of years for me in the businesses that I'm in. Everything I seem to get into is Yeah, struggles. And it's the industry. It's not even me. It's just everybody in the industry that I'm in. But seriously, I mean, he built his channel for years. I mean, so many of us started like promoting or talking about these films, talking about these IPs. We came into YouTube because we loved this stuff, and also because we hated what they were doing. A lot of us started our channels around the time The Last Jedi came out because we were so disgusted with what had happened during that period of time. And then there was, okay, so yeah, that's right. So the channel is now called Stone Cold Loki. That's right. Last time I was in there the other day, he had changed it. So I'm still used to the Loki's. It'll always be Loki's Mornings of Mischief to me. But thank you, Adega, for letting me know. If I had some way of, if anybody can put his channel up in the chat, please do so. Because if you're not subscribed to him, you really should. He's a great content creator. And Adega, who you see in the chat, go check out his channels. He does reading of his own books. He writes his own books, and he does readings every Sunday of his books. They're fantastic. You can go on Amazon to get them. Go do that. They're great. I don't have any to hand right. They're in my bookshelf. Otherwise, I'd show you what they look like. Anyway, but he does the Blood Witch series and I can't remember what he calls the space series. If there's a specific title, I always just think of it the Evolution series. So go and check that out. And like I said, you can get those books on Amazon. I don't know how many of them are available right now, if they're all still available or where they're at, but you can go check that out. Anyway, plugs aside. So I didn't want to get too bogged down in the Snow White thing because everybody's talking about this. And the only thing I want to say about it really after 15 minutes of talking about is FAFO. F around and find out. And that's what all these companies are doing. They just so bad. They're so bad. They have ruined everything. They've I don't know. Every company, there's so few companies out there right now who have not messed this up. Have not messed up their companies, destroyed their brands. We've got Budweiser, we've got it's just sad what's happening, which kind of brings us into our next topic. We're going to kind of bounce back and forth between entertainment and some political and just topics of the day. So the Tesla stuff, everything going on around Tesla. Now, I'm not going to talk about Elon Musk and his political whatever. I like what he's doing. I approve of what he's doing. I think what he's trying to do is to help, to save the country, but he's being demonized and everything. What I really want to talk about more is the wackadoodles and lunatics who are destroying Tesla cars. I don't understand. And see, these are the same exact people that 10 years ago were screaming that we all had to drive electric cars. Now, the best electric car out there is being hunted, attacked, and vandalized, destroyed, firebombed by these same people who told us we had to have one of those. Maybe not specifically Tesla, but I mean, Tesla really still is kind of the gold standard in electric cars. And I say that as someone who, full disclosure, I don't own an electric car. I don't really want to own an electric car. I don't care. If I did, it would be a Tesla. But I've rode in a Tesla and I was like, okay, this is okay. But most of the electric cars I don't understand because I see them coming at me down the road and they've got these huge light bars on the front of their vehicles. And it's like, you realize that everything about that car runs on power, right? Wouldn't you want to save that? Why would you put these big light bars all over the freaking car that are doing nothing but draining power? Power that you might want to use to drive down the road. I mean, anyway, that's my thinking. I don't quite understand why they're doing what they're doing. And what CR says here in Germany, they even attacked his fabric. Tesla does fabric. Well, that's nuts. I don't understand, because you see, when conservatives get mad, they boycott. They stop buying your product. Budweiser, when Bud Light went woke, people just stopped buying it. I mean, and they went out and said, this product sucks, we're not going to buy it anymore, don't buy it, blah, blah, blah. But I don't remember anybody firebombing Bud Light trucks. I don't remember people running around and painting woke on the side of Budweiser trucks or firebombing Anheuser-Busch plants. I'm a little confused by this, to be honest with you. I don't get, and what really blows my mind is the people going and scratching or painting swastikas onto Teslas. Because see, it's weird because see, the Nazis were actually the ones painting the swastikas. The Nazis were the ones that wanted the swastikas everywhere. And so you think as a form of protest, you should go and put a so the people putting the swastikas on things aren't the Nazis, the innocent people who's having their cars painted with swastikas. I'm a little confused by your logic. I don't understand that at all. Not even a little teeny bit. If you, I mean, why would you want swastikas everywhere? I mean, if you're so anti-Nazi, if you're so against, why are you painting swastikas on everything? That's what skinheads do. Skinheads run around painting swastikas on everything because they're all for that symbol. Now, if you're against that symbol, you don't run around painting it on things. I'm just saying, it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So I am wildly confused by the logic that's being employed by these people, destroying people's property. And seriously, if I owned a Tesla and I caught you keying my car, I wouldn't call the cops. They'd just never find you ever again. And I don't care who hears me say that. You don't have the right. In fact, James Woods, who's an actor, posted on X the other day, and he was saying in his thing, he showed a clip, and I love him. He is so funny. But I actually disagreed with him on this clip. They went and this clip shows the guy kicking a pickup. Like he's attacking this guy, and they're in a gas station, and he's kicking this pickup. And the guy finally has enough, pulls out a gun and shoots the guy that's kicking, trying to destroy his vehicle. And he's like, this is too far. His life wasn't in danger. And I'm like, you know what? In my opinion, you try and destroy me or my property, and whatever happens to you, totally justified. Because that's the only way this stuff's going to stop, is if they know that their antisocial behavior will be met with lethal force, they are much, much less likely to do it. You start seeing people get shot for keying Teslas and stuff like that, you're going to see a lot less people keying Teslas because they don't know what's going to happen to them. And I was like, and that's the sad thing, but that's, if you don't do anything to stop this crazy behavior, you're just going to get more of it. If nothing happens, and say that guy called the cops and said, hey, this guy's here vandalizing my thing. Half the time the cops show up and can't do anything. They're hamstrung by regulations, by people with video cameras who can't wait to demonize the police for actually doing the right thing. I watch police videos all the time of cops that are out of control and stuff like that. And it's sad because it seems like and I know that there's a spectrum of cops, the really good guys to the really horrible guys. And it seems like I know there's middle ground, but it seems like the only thing we're seeing is either the really good ones or the really bad ones. And it's because I remember when I was growing up, I respected law enforcement, and I don't respect them at all anymore. Because to me, they've just become tax collectors with badges. And I know it's not all of them. So I know, I don't want to make it sound like they're all bad, because they're not. There's some very good people. My interactions over the last 10 to 15 years have been with every dipstick that wears a badge. And it's sad, especially because I drive truck and stuff like that. the way cops are trained to deal with truck drivers is just horrendous. And I realize there's a lot of crappy truck drivers that make cops or where they just have a bad attitude as they approach a truck driver. So I get that. I mean, there's some crap on both sides. CR says they all believe in propaganda. The state news are all against Trump and Musk. They should be neutral. They show better than our old government, but they use the same trick. Yes. Yeah. Amen. Amen. No, I absolutely agree that it's such a sad thing to see. You know, I felt like right up until the point where Barack Obama got elected, and I don't care whether he's black or white, it's not my point. It felt like things were going in a good direction in the U.S. I felt like race relations had improved. Things were getting better. Problems didn't seem so blown out of proportion. And then from the time he got elected and started ginning up all this racial hatred between blacks and whites and screaming racism every time he opened his mouth, it just seemed like everything became about race. I was like, so wait, we elected a black president and now we're worse racist than we were before? Like I said, the world doesn't make sense to me. I feel like somebody took everything and just flipped it on its head, which if you're religious at all, that's what the scriptures say is going to happen in the end days, which I'm starting to feel like, I mean, there's days where I'll actually be listening to the news or watching videos on YouTube or whatever. And I'm just like, oh Lord, just send the asteroid, send the locust, so whatever you're going to use to wipe us all out. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I know I'm not ready to go to heaven. I know I'm still sinful and I've got some issues I need to work out. But at this point, I just don't even care. I just don't even care. Just send it. Send the fire. Send the brimstone. I'm done. I'm done. So no, it's really sad to see where we are. I don't understand. Like, so I guess yesterday there was a press conference and somebody asked Trump about a third term, and I really third term. He's not going to run for a third term, and if he does, I'm not voting for it. And I like Donald Trump. I like what he's doing, or I like most of what he's doing. Let me qualify that just a little bit. There's some stuff I think he's going too far on, and that we're focused on some of the wrong stuff. But for the most part, yes, I agree with what he's doing. But I'm really tired of our political leaders just being nuts. Like, what's his name? Keir Starmer out of the UK. I watched some video with him the other day, and I have friends in the UK. That's where I served. My LDS mission was in the kind of the western side of Great Britain. So I spent most of my time in southern Wales and like Devonshire and that part of Great Britain. And I love those people. They're great people. And I feel so bad because I feel like they've lost their country. Like when I see things from the UK now, I don't even recognize it anymore. I'm like, what happened to the UK? When I was there, it was pretty cool. I mean, there's always some weird stuff going on in every country, but I'm just like, every country on earth seems to be on fire, upside down, doing crazy stuff. I don't get it. I honestly just don't get it. It's sad because like it was a great place. They were so. There were some things about the UK that I really loved. The fact that they were used to be very protective of their history. I mean, even to the point where they wouldn't tear down houses. They'd gut the insides because most of them were from like old stone structures that had been there forever, like the terraced housing, which is not terrorist housing, it's terraced housing, which is like the long rows of housing that you see in the UK. They would go in, gut out the building, and put all new stuff inside the building just to save their history. You know, even right down to the houses that they lived in, they tried to save their history. They tried to protect that and keep it safe for the future, which is something I felt like America could learn a little bit from, because we seem to just tear crap down and put up new crap for no apparent reason whatsoever. Like I've seen, like here in the town where I live, they tore down they built a shop. They had it there for a couple of years. Then they tore that shop down to put another shop in its place that was a slightly different size. And then 3 years later, they tore that down so that they could put up a bank. Like, and this is in the period of about 10 years. There was 3 different buildings that got built on that site. Built, tore down, built, tore down, built. And I'm just like, really? What? It's just crazy to me. Anyway, so let's move on a little bit from politics here, and let's talk about other entertainment news. Who is excited for the new Superman? I am and I'm not, and now I'm a little worried because you guys are saying that you can't hear the sound on my video. Let me make sure that. Let me see if I can fix that. Make sure. Actually, we'll just remove that. Restart this. Stop sharing. Sorry, doing this all on the fly. Present, share screen, Windows. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that the sound is actually coming through. Okay. I know. Let's try this again, and we'll see if you guys can hear what's happening this time around. So let me know within the first couple of seconds if you can hear this or not hear it. On, so you don't have to hear it. Get witching sounds. So I'm running the sounds through my speakers. Maybe we'll get something. Okay, so one, I'm not real impressed with the guy they chose to play Superman. Okay, I'll turn my speakers up. Maybe we can get some kind of a reverse sound here. I apologize for that. I don't know why it's not pressing the sound through. Let's try this again. Okay, so if that's supposed to be Lois Lane, all I can say is no. Like, I don't know who this actress is. I don't honestly, I don't know who she is. So maybe I'm being mean here by saying that, but I'm sorry. She looks like generic millennial woman X. Almost no breasts. You know who I liked as Lois Lane? Terry Hatcher. That's what it is. Terry Hatcher. I liked her as Lois Lane. She was one of the best Lois Lanes out there, and she was in one of probably the least responded to series. I mean, the New Adventures of Lois and Clark. I liked that when it was on. I thought it was good, but she was quintessential. Margot Kidder and Terry Hatcher, I thought, did the best job as Lois Lane, because they have that soft feminine side, but it's hidden under that woman of iron news reporter, just that go get them kind of, man. Those two were the best at it. I didn't like the what's her face from Man of Steel. It's like, it's okay. I'm going to use a trucking analogy, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, please, anything but a trucking analogy. So trucking companies never get it right. Every trucking company I've ever worked for, they get about 50% right and 50% wrong. And then you go to the next trucking company and they get a slightly different 50% right and a slightly different 50% wrong. None of them ever get it right. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but you would think at some point one company would go, we're going to pick all the good things and we're just going to have 100% of a good company. That they never do. You've got them either paying crap wages, or they treat their drivers good, but they pay crap wages, or they pay good wages and they treat their drivers like crap. Or I mean, there's always something. Yes, CR. Her clothes are also not very advantageous. I know she looks like she's 70. Looks like her pants are like jacked up to her boobs. Who dresses like that? That isn't 90 years old. Why? Why would you? Anyway, so this is supposed to be Lois Lane. See, I'm sorry, but and this was my one problem with Henry Cavill. They didn't do enough to make Henry Cavill look like Clark Kent. For all of its problems, and I forget his name, he did the Superman Returns. I can't remember the guy's name that played the Superman in that one. They actually made him look I mean, he's not bad here. Curtis, hey Curtis, how are you doing? Glad to see you. But I look at this guy and I'm like, no. I'm like, no, that's one thing I loved about Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves, man, it was night and day difference between Clark Kent and Superman. It was very different. I mean, they had similarities where, like, if you're really paying attention, yeah, you could see. But what got me wasn't necessarily the looks. It was Christopher Reeve's bumbling portrayal of Clark Kent. And it was the bumbling, just like he did this crazy stuff, making him look like a klutz, and he didn't hear well, and he couldn't see, and he was doing all these little things that just kept you off balance. So that even if for a second you thought, well, he kind of looks like Superman, you think, no, Superman's not that clumsy. Hey, Coag Music, thank you for dropping in. Love your stuff, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. Love it. I've even clipped just a little bit for some of my videos. It was just a little teeny bit, though. I promise. I didn't steal. It's because I love your stuff. Anyway, and if I need to get permission, you tell me how to do that, and I'll do that. Anyway, but so let's go on with this, and we're gonna talk about it. I apologize for the sound not being okay. Oh no! And then I hit something that I shouldn't hit. You did a bloody loogie on the school. That's wrong. Anyway, so like I said, I'm pausing just to keep me from being struck down by the gods of copyright. I mean, the electric guitar in this scene, which you guys probably can't hear. Okay. Seriously? Out of all the Jonathan Kents, can I just say no? No. Nothing against this actor, but no. No. We've gone from Kevin Costner to this. Okay. Sorry. So I this part right here, seriously, that cute but stupid. Why would you? I don't understand. If you were going to have Crypto, which I think is the dog's name, if I'm wrong about that, you slap me. Yes, Oh, CR, thank you for saying that out loud. John Snyder, near as perfect as Mr. Kit. Yes. Yes, my brother. That is, yes, very true. I I'd almost forgot about him for a minute, but you're right. It doesn't get any better than him. I mean, even Kevin Costner, and I liked Kevin Costner. He did a good job with that role, but you're right. John Snyder, he was the ultimate. That dog. Thank you, Curtis. When I saw this, I was like, who got the Shih Tzu or whatever breed this is? Cute, cute. Yes, very cute. And the kids are going to be like, oh, you puppy. Where the hell's the German Shepherd? I'm sorry. Superman is not going to have Scruffy the dog as Super Dog. No. I feel like I need that clip from The Office. No, no. He's screaming. Maybe I've even got that in here. I don't know, because that would be the perfect time for that clip. Oh, no! Yes. No! When I saw this is where the trailer started to go off the rails for me. I didn't realize that was Lois Lane the first time I saw it, and so I was like, I'm not sure about that. But no, I don't know the German Shepherd, but like he, in all the comics, he looks German Shepherdish like he's a big dog, because Superman isn't gonna have a poodle. I'm sorry, he's just anyway. So I don't want to get too bit. Bark Crypto. Oh, and I'm clicking on the wrong freaking. Oh, okay, this looks good. You know what? You pay enough money for CGI. Oh, and just I gotta see if they. Okay, now I actually like this actor. Can't think of his name. I apologize for that. I actually like him. Still not the right choice for Lex Luthor. I'm sorry, it's just not. And I think his acting will make up for the fact that he doesn't particularly fit in my mind what Lex Luthor would look like. Yes, Curtis. Even a lab would. Yes, I mean a white lab, even a golden lab. I don't care. Just not Scruffy McDog. That should not be Crypto. But the guy that was in the Man of Steel films, God, there's not enough swear words on earth to describe how disappointed I was with his portrayal of Lex Luthor. That guy, so miscast. So, I mean, wow, miscast. Epic fail. I think he has a chance of acting. Look, I think Jeff B. Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. He just but I grew up with Gene Hackman, so but yeah, he's a great actor. And I can't think of his name. If any of you guys can remember his name, let me know in the comments. But he's a good actor, so I'm hoping that makes up for the fact that he doesn't really fit the profile. And hello, Jeff B. Thank you for jumping in. So let's move forward. Why would it take so much effort and strength for Superman to break some glass, even if it was bulletproof? I mean, I'm sorry, Nicholas Hoult. Thank you. What would have been impressive is if he'd have stood up and went, I got to move my fingers so that, boom, and just blew the glass out. That's Superman. Superman is, I remember in one of the animated series, and I can't remember exactly which one, but Superman is fighting this guy who uses a sound or something like that, and basically Superman cuts loose. There's also a scene where he's fighting Apocalypse, and he's like, I feel like I spend my life in a world made of glass. And now on one of those rare occasions, I'm finally going to be able to cut loose. See, that's what's been missing from Superman, is actually showing him to be as powerful as he is. That's what I want to see. I want to see Superman at his best. I want to see him as Superman since Christopher Reeves, we haven't got that. And even in Christopher Reeves' day, they were kind of limited by the technology of the day to be able to, show Superman as strong as he actually is. Okay, I have to say, I love the fact that they've gotten good Lord, my brain today, I'm forgetting actors' names, and I love this guy. He looks a little bizarre though with the bowl haircut. Actually, given that picture right there, he looks like a Vulcan. I'm like, did you wander in from a Star Trek shoot, or like what happened? But no, from Castle and Firefly, and I can't think of his name. I don't know what's wrong with me. My brain, it's oranges and lemons up there today, and I'm getting pineapples. So I apologize for that. But I'm glad to see him as that character, as Green Lantern. I would have been okay with seeing John Stewart. Perfectly good opportunity to put a black person in a role. Just saying. But I'm okay with and somebody was talking about who they thought, or which Green Lantern he actually is, who he's playing, and I can't remember like what the general consensus seems to be. Okay, and we're getting Hot Girl, which yeah, okay. Gay Dragon. Oh, I didn't notice that. What's the deal with Nathan Fillion? It's a good thing you're here today, Curtis, because your acting is the other half of my brain. Now, but it's like the Solo movie where the robot in Lando Calrissian have set, like that's what I'm getting that vibe from. Superman holding the robot going, oh, and I'm like, the hell is that? Uh, here we have the and I don't know the characters well enough to know who that is. People have talked about it. Okay, well, that's enough of that. So let me stop sharing that if I can get my. There we go. So the only reason I talk about this is because I know it's coming up. We're going to get that this year sometime, June, July, whatever. And I'm just, it's another one of those things where, are you guys ready to go spend your money on this? Are you excited about getting to go watch the new Superman movie? I mean, I'm cautiously hopeful, but not entirely sure that hope is justified. I mean, the first time I saw the trailer, I was like, that's all right. It looks okay, except for the dog. The dog I picked up on right away. I was like, good Lord, no. And then, but I mean, now that I've watched it several times, the more I watch it, the more I'm like, oh, he's going to flub this. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, he did a good job with that. I have to admit, he did a good job with Guardians of the Galaxy. It's one of the best Marvel movies out there, I think, in my opinion. Kevin Spacey. All right, child predator. No, just kidding. No, I mean, but Kevin Spacey is a great actor. So, I mean, yeah, he did a pretty good portrayal of Lex Luthor. So I mean, he's good because he's a great actor, and I think that's how Nicholas Hoult is going to be. I think the fact that he doesn't really fit the part visually for me, I think his acting will probably carry him over the top. I actually really do like him as an actor. Even when he's not in the best of movies, his performance usually carries it quite a bit for me. What was Brandon? Routh. Was that the Brandon Routh or Roth? I think he was in Superman Returns, and he did. He really looked the part. But at that point, they were really trying to carry on with the Christopher Reeves storyline. The fact that they totally screwed that movie up is sad, because I there was some pretty good stuff in that film, but the overall story arc, yeah, I didn't think it was that great. But I you're right, Curtis. I like that as well. They were trying to carry on from Reeves. And I think they were trying to do, like, really pay homage, because I'm sorry, Christopher Reeves will always be this Superman to me. Because not only was he great in that role, not only did he kind of epitomize Superman for me, especially where I grew up with him as the Superman of my childhood, but he was that kind of a man in real life. Christopher Reeves was, I mean, if you really dig into who he was as a person, especially even after his accident, but I mean, he used to go to children's hospitals all the time and show up as Superman, and he'd get paid to do, like, actors like, can you please, I'll pay you $5,000 if you'll come to my site. No, he just did that. He'd just go to children's hospitals and go around as Superman. I mean, when you look into Christopher Reeves, he was Superman. He was Superman. And I don't know if you've ever get a chance to go watch a movie called Noises Off. It's about a Broadway play. It's a movie about this Broadway play that has a troubled production, and it's got Michael Caine, Carol Burnett, Christopher Reeves, Mary Lou Henner. It's got a huge ensemble cast, and it is freaking hilarious. One of the funniest. If you want to see Christopher Reeves in an extremely funny comic role, good Lord, go watch that movie. You will not be sad. It is absolutely hilarious. Superman pushing an island of kryptonite. That's what I mean, Project Storytime. Welcome, by the way. Thank you for being here. But yeah, like, I was just like, I don't know what's happening now. That movie, when it started and it was kind of going forward, I was like, this is going somewhere good. This is going somewhere good. And then about 50% of the way through the movie, like, it made a left turn and missed Albuquerque, if you know the Bugs Bunny reference there. But yeah, no, it was, awful. It's awful. Man of Steel was good. My problem with Man of Steel, because here was, you get Henry Cavill, probably the best replacement for Christopher Reeves, if not replacement, but the best character to come in and take over that role that we've had forever. Brandon Routh was decent. Roth, I'm not sure how you say his name, was decent. But I mean, Henry Cavill was another one of those guys. And to me, even in his real life, like, when you listen to interviews with Henry Cavill, I'm just like, he's as close as we've got to a Superman in real life, as well as the person acting, as we've had since Christopher Reeves. Because I mean, he cares about what the fan, and he is as big a nerd as we are, which is one of the things I absolutely love about him. And when they start trying to crap all over an IP like they did with The Witcher, like, he's like, I'm out. You guys can take this stuff and stick it where there's unknown shit. Because he liked The Witcher. He was a huge Witcher fan. And so when they started bastardizing that series, he's just like, I'm out of here. And I love him for that. And I love the fact that he was given the opportunity once in an interview, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. I could go find it. But he was given an opportunity to crap on the fans that were upset about The Witcher, or one of these things he was being interviewed for. And he goes, no. He's like, people have a right to think and feel about an IP and a bunch of characters that, that they have a right to feel that way. He's like, as an actor, I'm trying to do my best to portray that role as it was. I mean, but he was really into performing it the way that the person who wrote it would want it. So, I can't remember the guy's name that wrote the Witcher series, Andrzej Zgowski or something like that. He really wanted to be that character, the Geralt of Rivia. So I just, Just let's see. Yes, I serious. If you unless your sense of humor is different than mine, you'll really love Noises Off. It is very funny. I just finished Goliath and started Severance. Goliath was great. Severance is so fun. You're gonna have to fill me in on that. Is Goliath the TV show or Severance? I guess I'm not sure what either one of those are. Shows you how much I'm in the loop. But no, I know that it's hard for Hollywood to always meet everybody's expectations, and I don't expect them to. I give people pretty good leeway with trying to fill out characters, find roles, because sometimes the way it's written in a book is too long and they've got to condense it for a film, or they've got to do something different. But see, my problem is that Hollywood doesn't even try anymore. They used to try. If they were using somebody else's intellectual property, they would actually try to stay mildly accurate, or at least, as close as they could, given the stories or the whatever that they were trying to go along with. They really tried to stay to that. Now they don't even try anymore. They're not even close. In fact, most of them come into it with the, how can we not do anything that the original author wanted? And I'm just like, God, why would you even do it? I mean, all we have to do is look at Rings of Power. Actually, don't look at Rings of Power. I've never watched a single episode, and I never will, because I decided a few years ago I will not pollute my brain with anything that deviates from the original author's true intentions. If you're even remotely trying to follow the original creator's intentions, God bless you, and I will be right there, and I will try and watch whatever it is you're talking about. Like the first season of Witcher was actually pretty good. I mean, it jumps around time-wise stuff, but I mean, the overall portrayal I thought was all right. Not as good as the books, which nothing ever is. That's just a given. That ought to just stamp that on every movie cover. Not as good as the books. But I mean, it felt like they were trying to do something good, and then the second season, it was just like, and that was it for me. So let's see. Project Storytime. Art in one medium doesn't. Yes. Yeah. And see, sometimes Project Storytime, I'll bet you agree, they just need to leave it alone. I would rather see them not make something into a film than to do it badly, to do it poorly, to ruin it by trying to bring it to a medium that it because there's a lot of things you could do in a TV series that you can't do in a movie. It's because you cannot, like the Harry Potter books, perfect example. Most of those movies, they cut way too much out of the books to make really great movies. The first two films were okay in my book. I remember the first time I saw The Sorcerer's Stone, I hated it. And then it grew on me because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. But I just, but like they needed to. So I'm glad they're doing a series. It's just, I wish they'd have done it 15 years ago before the woke virus ruined everything, because now I'm not interested in the series at all because of that's another subject we could talk about for an hour. God. Black Snape. I mean, I don't know that. I mean, that will be in the obituary for the Harry Potter TV show. Black Snape. I don't even care that they're trying to cast a black guy as Mad-Eye Moody, because Mad-Eye Moody's character was never really specifically talked about as being one or the other. I mean, nobody ever is like, and the white Mad-Eye Moody walked into the. It's like, no, that's never brought up. But Snape's described in very, very much a large amount of detail. And I'm sorry, when was the last time you met a black guy with a hook nose? No. And I'm not being racist. I'm just saying that's not normally a feature of an African American or a black guy. I hate the term African American, black guy. No, that's like, I mean, I have more of a hook nose, and I don't have a hook nose. I mean, but seriously, like Anyway, and woman. Okay, now that could get me in trouble. It's like, when was the last time you saw a black guy with greasy, straight, black curtained hair? No, sorry, and I'm not being racist. I'm just saying that'd be like me. See, my hair, I keep it this short because if it gets long, I look like a human Q-tip. It just goes, and no. So I mean, I couldn't play Snape either unless they like straightened it out, painted my hair black, and put more of it on. Because see, I'm losing my hair. Anyway, yeah, I'm sure the Netflix Narnia will be great. Are they gonna do Narnia? God. And the other day somebody posted a picture of Smokey and the Bandit remake with Pedro Pascal in the picture. And all I could think, and I apologize because I'm gonna swear here, and I hate this particular swear word in general, but God, no, please just stop. Just, if I have to see Pedro Pascal in one more role that he should not be in, I might commit Harry Carey, because I just, look, I have nothing against Pedro Pascal, but since when did he become the only actor available in Hollywood? I don't understand. Like, what? Why? I don't think that's really going to happen. But if they, I mean, I'm sorry. See, Smokey and the Bandit is one of those films you can't make now. You couldn't make it now. It's not realistic. You made that in the 70s before digital and all that, and it works. You couldn't do it now. I'm sorry, you just could. Speaking as a truck driver, you could not do it now. No. So just please no, please. And then somebody posted a picture when I said that. Oh, please God, no. Somebody posted a picture of Enter the Dragon with Pedro Pascal's head on the top of Bruce Lee's body. I thought it was going to be my pants. I was laughing so hard. At the same time, I'm like, God, no. So anyway, I'm a little behind on the comments here. So let's see. Severance is a corporation that puts a chip in your brain. When you go to work, you don't know what you did when you. Oh, I remember seeing a trailer for that. You'll have to let me know if that actually turns out to be good, because seriously, like, I spend all my I don't go to movies anymore because I can't, and I end up going back to old TV. Right now I've been watching The Blacklist because I love James Spader. James Spader is one of my all-time favorite actors. I just love, he's freaking hilarious. And really good as a bad guy, which is why his voice was so well done in Age of Ultron. But Jeff B, watched the entire first season of ROP. Couldn't look away from the train wreck. ROP. Oh, Rings of. See, that's how bad I hate that show. I can't even. I didn't even recognize the initials. Yeah, no. I saw the trailer, and that was enough, and I'm just like, no. Galadriel Girl Boss. No. No, not in 100 million years. See, last time I saw it, Idiocracy, the Black Wrestler President, Straight Line. Yeah, I mean, it can be done, but it's not normal. It's not natural. Like, you know what I mean? Idiocracy. That's a movie I haven't thought about for a while, which is weird considering we were actually living that movie in real life. But yeah, Netflix has the rights to. Out of all the places that could have ended up with the rights, Netflix is probably what, I don't know. Them and Amazon, it's like neck and neck for the, I don't know. They're Netflix, Amazon, Disney, like they're all neck and neck for who can F things up worse than anybody else. They're all like in a 12-way tie for shitty first place. Why you would want to be the Triple Crown winner of the douchebag Hall of Fame? I don't understand. All comic purposes except maybe Cat. Yeah. And see, I think Cat straightens his hair because I've seen Cat both ways. I've seen him with super curly hair. And so it's like that, like what's his name? Don Imus that got canceled for saying nappy hair. I'm a white kid who grew up in one of the whitest states in the United States, Idaho. Not because we don't like black people here. They just don't seem to come here for some reason. It's probably too cold. and deserty and weird. I love Idaho, by the way. But it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. If you're from California, just don't. Idaho is over next to Nebraska. Just remember, Idaho's that way. Okay. Well, this is Iowa. I live in Idaho's over there. So make sure you go that way if you're coming from California. Ben Stiller directs Severance. Both Severance and Goliath have been great. So I'll have to look into those. I haven't seen much about the. I know there was a show called Goliath that had Billy Bob Thornton as a lawyer, and I've been seeing a lot of clips for that. The one I was interested in seeing is Landman. I've seen clips for that, but I refuse to get a subscription to Paramount Plus because of what they've done to Star Trek. I can't. No, I won't support anything that supports the current regime that is flushing one of my all-time favorite science fiction franchises down the toilet. No, I won't do it. But yeah, I kind of want to see that, and I've heard it's supposed to be ending. I think it's on its final season now. Yeah. Well, if you figure out how to do it, Curtis, let me know how to pirate Landman, because it looks fantastic. It does. It looks like somebody finally went, let's tell the liberals the truth. Because I've seen a couple of clips where there's this liberal lawyer and Billy Bob Thornton talking to her and basically tells her where the bear crapped in the woods about renewable energy versus like the way it really is. It is fantastic. It is one of the best takedowns of the liberal mindset against gas and oil I have ever seen. Fantastic. 100% agree with everything he said in that. It's awesome. And I like Billy Bob Thornton. He's always been one of my favorite actors. I think he's great ever since every time I see him in something, I think he's pretty great. How type Landman 1, 2, 3 movies and 5. Okay, I'll have to take a look at that because I definitely want that. Hey, don't forget Paramount. I will never forget. Oh, yes. Before I even read that, apparently you and me are very much on the same wavelength today, Project Storytime, because I swear to God. I mean, that's actually, I guess Doomcock and I have a lot of that in common, because that's really what led me to doing this, was seeing what they did to start, because I'm serious, Star Trek was huge for me as a kid. Okay. It's probably 50% the reason why I am who I am today. Because the lessons, the values, the fairness, looking at a subject from both sides. I mean, even when it was kind of, I mean, you never felt like you were getting preached at with the old Star Trek. You felt like you were being made to think. See something from both sides and try and figure. That's one of the things I loved about. And Captain Kirk was always kind of that guy in the middle that was like, all right, crazy person over here and crazy person over here. We're going to bring you two people into the middle here, and this is where you're going to live, because this is the good place. And out here, no, those are bad places. But yeah, no, when the bastardization that has happened to Star Trek is. You could argue with me on this. Tell me if you agree or disagree. I think out of all the IPs that have been destroyed, I think what has happened to Star Trek is probably the most tragic. Because, I mean, Star Wars is great. And I love Star Wars. Always have, always will. Okay. I always love the original trilogy. I got to be careful how I phrase that these days, because they have done some really crappy stuff to Star Wars. But Star Trek was the cerebral science fiction show. Star Trek brought things to science fiction that almost no other franchise ever has. I mean, it did more for society and shaping the future that we see now today than probably almost any other science fiction franchise out there. No matter how campy it got. And I mean, it wasn't campy at the time, especially the original, but seriously, that's what led me to start doing YouTube, was the bastardization of Star Trek. That affected me probably more than anything else, because seriously, I went to every movie premiere opening night. I just I never missed it. I don't know. I probably couldn't tell you how many hours I've spent watching Star Trek over my lifetime, which is sad to a certain extent and great because, like I said, it helped make me who I am. It helped expand my vocabulary. It made me think about things. It was just, it was a great thing for me. But I mean, like I said, and this is my all-time favorite Star Trek film. It used to be Wrath of Khan, and it's still kind of a neck and neck, but the motion picture is Star Trek at its most Star Trekkiness. Super cerebral. I mean, name me another film where basically you stare at a screen for 45 minutes looking at lights and colors and geometric shapes made out of light and sound, and you're watching other people watching this and thinking, oh. I've never been stoned. I've never done drugs, so I don't know what that. But I feel like that's got to be what like being stoned or on LSD or something that's going to be like. Is watching Star Trek the motion picture and the flashing lights and the whole thing where they're going through the cloud. Wow, yes, I love that movie because it's just the ideas behind it were huge. Voyager probe, which was sent out, comes back having had this huge ship built around just crazy out there stuff. But I mean, I love Star Trek too, and I love them all. I love them all. They're all great in their own ways. Some of them are better than others. But OG Star Trek was basically Spock and the cold logic one, Bones, the moral, emotional one, and Kirk had yes, the Project Storytime. I agree. And those three, and that was the one thing I felt bad about. I did a video on the Unification 74682 or whatever I can't remember the number is, where Kirk comes back and he sees Spock as Spock's passing away. It was a short film that just got released. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I felt bad that McCoy wasn't there. In some way, somewhere in there, I wish they'd have managed to put DeForest Kelley in there somehow, and maybe they just couldn't get the rights for his likeness or whatever, because that was the only thing that I thought was missing in that, because it was always those three. It was always the three, and I missed that. But that movie made me cry. I mean, that short film, no words, they didn't talk at all, and that movie had me bawling like a little girl because I'm just like, man, it's strange. I felt hope. Like, this is what Star Trek was. Star Trek was hope. Star Trek was that positive future, that chance that humanity could overcome all of the crap that we bog ourselves down with and actually become something bigger than what we are. That's what Star Trek meant to me. And that what is it, 5-10 minute film, man, encapsulates that feel of Star Trek just in a way that we have not seen in a long, long time. Despite the fact that there's some weird alien from Discovery in it, I just ignored that because Discovery doesn't exist in my universe. I'm sorry. If I, if they keep tearing Star Trek down the way they are, I might be able to buy it for like $50 here in a couple of years, and I'll get all you guys to come and help me. We'll start making really good Star Trek. Because at this point, Star Wars and Star Trek, I mean, they're going to be worth like $100 in a couple of years. You could buy them, trade in the studios for a pot pie or something. I mean, seriously, like they've so bastardized these IPs. Somebody was talking about the Aliens franchise the other day, which is another one, which it hasn't been bastardized because it's woke. It's just been bastardized because it's just so bad. It's just such horrible storytelling. Like since Aliens, it's just been like this downward spiral to the bottom. And I'm just like, how low are you guys going to, like Prometheus? God, don't even get me started on that movie. If you want to know what I think The Drinker did a discussion or did a video on that. Seriously, I could have made that video word for word. So if you want to know what I think about Prometheus, seriously, go watch The Drinker's video on that because I couldn't have said it any better. It was like he took the words right out of my mouth. but Picard season 3 has memory berries. Yeah, see, and I can't watch that either because I've seen clips of it, but no, I'm sorry, they did too much damage. I mean, season 1 and season 2. I watched the first episode of Picard. I thought, all right, I'm gonna swallow my bile and I'm gonna try, and I couldn't. Story time. I was like, yeah, no, I just can't. I can't. Like I think I got to the end of the first episode and I was like, I'm done. Like this isn't Jean-Luc Picard. This is Jacques Cousteau Picard. I don't know what this is. I don't know who that is, but that's not Picard. It's kind of the same thing that they did to Picard in Insurrection. Where Patrick Stewart wanted to turn Picard into an action hero, and no, just no, he was not an action. He was not. Yeah, see, that's another. The Next Generation films never got their footing for being such a fantastic series. When they Generations was probably their best effort on those films, to be honest. And after that, it was like, and I mean, even the last one, Nemesis, had its moments, and the fact that was really the first time we ever got to see, oh balls, the guy that plays the bad guy, he's in Venom now. Okay, Curtis, I need you to tell me the names that I'm looking for because my brain's shut off again. I can't think of his name. But I mean, it was the first time we really got to see him on the big screen, and he went on to do really great things. But yes, Insurrection is the worst. So, like I said, for some reason, they never made that leap. When they went from the small screen to the big screen, something happened, and it was not good. It was not good. Like I said, Generations was okay, other than the horrendous way they killed Captain Kirk. But Tom Hardy, thank you, Project Storytime. You're the man. You and Curtis. Yeah, Tom Hardy. I mean, and he, like, some of the acting in Nemesis was really good. Some of the storytelling wasn't bad. But I mean, overall, it's like it never figured out what it wanted. And it's like they killed Data at the end just because somebody had to die. It's like they went in for the story pitch and was like, all right, we're going to do this and this, and we've got to kill somebody. We got to kill some. Who can we kill that's really going to piss the fans off and make sure that it gets memorable, like, because we killed Spock off in, Wrath of Khan. We got to kill somebody off in this film. And I felt like that's what they did. And Brent Spiner's like, I'll do it. It's like, no. But yeah, anyway, so like I said, Nemesis had its moments and it had potential to be a great film, and then just flubbed it. Just, yeah. And what a shitty way for that crew to go out. That was their swan song, because I can't count. I mean, I guess you could try and count Picard season 3, but no. Too little, too late. I mean, I'm glad that they finally got around to giving them a decent going away, but yeah, too little, too late, and it's just sad. One guy in Prometheus is a Tom Hardy look. Yeah. Oh, Prometheus, and then like after Prometheus, I just stopped with the Aliens. Like I kept trying to like it, and the Aliens versus Predator, like that had a little bit of moments, but like the Predator franchise has had the same thing happen to it that Aliens had happened to it. It just is never like, it was like they hit this high point and then thought, what can we do to screw this up? I mean, seriously, with Aliens here, I mean, you could have gone on to make something great from Aliens. I mean, you could have done some great stuff. The potential for that storyline and is way huge. But like what they chose to do, why? And then, like I said, and then they tried to restart it with Prometheus because Hollywood can't ever do anything new or unique. We've got to go back and do prequels and prequels and prequels and prequels and prequels and prequels. Like, I am so sick and tired of prequels. And this last Aliens movie, my kids went and saw it, and they liked it because they like horror films. I'm not a huge horror film fan, so I don't know where my kids get that from. But seriously, but my kids actually liked this last one. Can't even think what it's called. It's basically a prequel of the prequel of the prequel, whatever it is. It's Ridley Scott trying to claw back the franchise from James Cameron, essentially, is what I thought it was. And it takes everything out of position. It makes things nonsensical. They try and bring back the android from the original Alien film. Like, God, just let Ian Holm die. I mean, sorry. I mean, great actor, fantastic guy, but don't. What a shitty thing to do to a great character and a great franchise. But I mean, I think Ridley was like, he was the driving force because he was pissed that James Cameron came in. And I mean, James Cameron effectively the Alien films was great. The Alien film was great. But then James Cameron came in and went, I'm going to make this 1,000 times better, which should be the idea of every director. Every director that comes in should want to make it better, not different, because that's what they all think. I'm going to make it different. I'm going to put my own stamp on this, and then it'll be mine. It's like, I think James Cameron just came in and tried to make a great film, given what he had. And that's why, that's what directors need to do. Like, stop trying to just make it different, make it better. How about that? Anyway, Alien Romulus is guilty. Curtis says, Alien Covenant was even better, in my opinion. Alien Romulus is guilty. Is Romulus the one that they just did? See, I like to say, I've gotten lost in some of the Alien film because I stopped paying attention after a while. Didn't scare me though. I wish it was a little better horror. The only thing sillier. Got my glasses on. I couldn't read that. Then Predator Dogs with space horror. Oh, Jeffy, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, yep. Look, I'll say Aliens is meh. It has some great things, but alien costume designs. Well, it was the 70s. They were doing the best with what they had. Like seriously, Aliens was the high point. Aliens has, great cast. Fantastic cast. You got Sigourney Weaver. You got, oh shit. I'm going to pull it up because my brain just went. But it has, Bill Paxton, Hicks. What the hell's his name? Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, it's so good. In fact, so we're running about an hour and a half long here. I don't know if you guys are still having as much fun as I'm having fun. So I have fun when I get on here and get to talk to you guys. This is therapy for me. This is therapy, getting to talk about stuff I love and stuff that I don't and stuff with you guys. It's fantastic. But I did want to end the stream today. As you know, I'm a speaker for the dead. I wanted to speak the death of Val Kilmer, which I read yesterday. He passed away. And I wanted to talk to you guys are still on Aliens in here. I'm going all serious. Sorry. What I just got. Sorry, comment. You'll have to go back and watch the rest. I think it's a pretty good stream. I've had fun. Everybody in the chat seems to be having fun. Well, maybe some of them are like, well, I didn't have that much fun. But I don't know if you guys have heard that Val Kilmer passed away. I think it was yesterday. And I just wanted to pay tribute to an amazing actor. I know he had his problems later in life and stuff like that. But and I want to say this, go and watch the documentary Val. It's a documentary he did himself. And Val Kilmer is an amazing guy. He recorded everything. Like when he was on film sets, and when he was doing Real Genius, when he was doing Top Gun, when he was doing Batman Forever, when he was doing all of Tombstone, when he was doing all these films, he was recording stuff. Like he was passionate about film, and he filmed being filmed. He filmed making of these movies while he was filming other people and the other characters and stuff. And so Val Kilmer's son looks and sounds scarily like his dad. Seriously, it's almost creepy. It's like they cloned Val Kilmer. But yeah, man. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Jeff B. R.I.P. Mad Mardigan. Mad Mardigan! God, he was such a fantastic actor. He added so much. And I just, seriously, if you have not seen that documentary, go check it out. You will be amazed at his life, how he lived it. And then he gets throat cancer. He was about to start doing a one-man show about Mark Twain. When the cancer hit, and he ended up having to cancel that. And it shows you some of the preliminary work that he did for that. That would have been something. That would have been something to see. Val Kilmer's tribute to I just lost it. Mark Twain. It's amazing. And it's sad because, like I said, when I started this stream today, there's so many actors and movies. Like I remember growing up, I didn't even know what the actors' political affiliations were. It wasn't until, I don't know, 15, 20, I don't think it was even that long, maybe 10 to 15 years ago at the max, when we started getting actors who could not shut their pie holes about their political views. I have no idea what Val Kilmer's political views were. I know he was pretty much anti-war, but that's not really a political thing. He just didn't like war, which is okay. And like, you're okay. That's a political thing I can be okay with. But like I said, I remember the first time I ever saw him was in Real Genius. That movie, God, that is a total 80s movie. Fantastic. In fact, I need to go rewatch that. It's been a while since I've actually seen that film, and it is great. But I mean, Willow, Mad Mardigan, Tombstone, I'll be a Huckleberry. I mean, talk about memorable characters. Just, and I'm sure I'm not even scratching the surface of some of all the other characters that he played off and on throughout the years. So I hope that you guys will just take a minute, remember him, go and watch one of his films, watch that documentary on his life, and just pay tribute to a great actor, and you know, it was sad. It was great to see him back in Maverick. It's one of my favorite things is that they incorporated him into the Maverick film, that Tom Cruise brought him back in there to play that character again. And it's sad as we start to lose these fantastic actors, it makes me just remember, you know, that you've got to love these people while they're here. And it makes me so grateful for those actors. And it makes me so sad for our current crop of self-indulgent, narcissistic, psychopathic twats and douchebags who make up the acting groups in Hollywood now. There's so few people who I can look at and go, well, he hasn't said something stupid this week to make me want to shoot him in the face. Not literally, figuratively. But it's really sad. And so I want to finish reading up the comments here. Well, the costume was better in the 70s. I just kind of hate James Cameron now. Yeah. James Cameron has kind of he's just one of them directors that got too hooked on his own farts, and wow. R.I.P. Mad Mardigan, you'll be missed. I will allow Aliens, but I've always had issues with Alien. Yeah. Alien was, I remember Alien scared the shit out of me when I was a kid because I walked through the family room one night when I was going to bed. My brother was watching that by himself in the dark, and I walked through just as the one guy gets grabbed in the tunnel by the alien. Talk about nightmare fuel for weeks. God, I really hate my brother for that. I lost a lot of sleep as a kid that year. Val Kilmer was a really great actor. Never took on easy roles. Always challenged. Yes. Very true. Oh, I know you're trolling now, Curtis. Rachel Zegler, which we started our stream talking about today, is exactly what I'm talking about. You've got Val Kilmer, great actor, did great work, amazing, funny, serious, dramatic, could do it all. And then you've got Rachel Zegler, whose only defining feature is being a cow. I mean, seriously. And that's what we've got coming up now. Narcissistic, psychopathic, basically solely and completely responsible for the destruction of that entire film. I mean, if she'd have kept her mouth shut, we wouldn't have known it was shit till we sat in the theater. I mean, come on. I mean, you keep your mouth shut? I mean, save Disney some money. I mean, but imagine how much madder we'd have been had we had 500 million of us gone out to watch this movie that we thought was going to be Snow White that turned out. So, I mean, maybe she did us a favor. She let us know what a crap show that it was going to be. And we were just like, all right, well, we'll skip that one. So, I mean, but that's being overly generous to her. Wow. But yeah, that's what we've got coming into Hollywood now. These narcissistic, psychopathic women and men actors that I don't even know if they're men anymore. Honestly, they don't know whether they're men. So how am I supposed to know if they're men? And like they wear peg leg. Good Lord, if I see more men wearing the peg leg pants. Sorry if you wear peg leg pants. I apologize. That's just not. I grew up in a different time. I grew up in the 80s where we just wore pants. We just had pants. Okay. We missed the bell bottom era, where we had enough, like material on your legs that looked like you had a bong, bong, bong going back and forth when you were walking. I missed that era. I was at the end of the 70s, so I did end up in corduroy pants and very nearly started myself on fire several times trying to run across the yard. But thankfully that didn't last very long. But seriously, and now the men wear pants that like show this much of their ankle and are this tight, and I can't figure out how the hell they got their foot in there. What a strange thing. Anyway, about the dwarfs and snow. Yes. It's sad when the dwarves from Snow White are scarier than the aliens in Romulus and these other, like, I remember in Prometheus. I know I said I was going to end, but I keep going. There's that part where the two guys are trapped. Now, this is the guy, by the way, who has been freaking out that they're in this scary place this whole time, and they get trapped in the big ziggurat or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, this white snake, creepy looking thing comes up out of the ground and starts looking at him. And this guy who's been freaking out for like 2 hours now is like, "Hey, are you want to come over here, I mean, God, shit. Wow. Anyway, sorry, that's a strange thing to leave off. So anyway, remember Val Kilmer. I know I'm jumping around, but remember Val. He was a good man and a great actor. Wasn't a perfect man, but I think he was a good guy and a great actor. So anyway, thank you guys for being here today. I appreciate it so much. This has been a lot of fun. I'm going to start trying to do these open topic streams, just so that you guys have more say in what's happening on the channel and you guys get to interact and talk about this or that. I'll bring some topics, but as always, when you see these open streams, that means anything goes. You guys want to talk about something, you want my opinion, or you just want to vent your opinion about something, maybe even something I'm not talking about, just throw it out there and if there's a conversation to be had, well, we'll have it. I think sometimes those are the funnest things to do, is just those random topics that lead down roads and things that you just didn't expect. Reminder to everybody, this weekend on Sunday, we will be doing family or anime talk with the family. We are going to be talking about Demon Slayer, specifically seasons 2, 3, and 4. And preparing for the new Demon Slayer season that's coming out. And just lost the name of it. Infinity Castle, which I'm really excited for. And I think that's going to be a film, and it may be then translated into a series, kind of like what they did with Mugen Train. Anyway, so if you guys are interested in anime at all, that will be at 6 p.m. This Sunday night, Pacific time. And we're thinking about moving that to a little bit earlier time in the day so that people in other parts of the world can actually participate. Because I've been told that people like in UK and Germany, and so because we've had CR was in here earlier today from Germany. I don't know if he's still in, but it gets a little late for them by 6 o'clock at night. That's like 2 o'clock in the morning for them. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. Chris says, but see that about the only bad part of the movie besides the old guy. Thank you guys for being here. And we will talk to you this Sunday. Thanks now. Talk to you later. Bye now.